Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are diving headfirst into the digital wild west of cryptocurrency. We're going to explore some absolutely true stories of fortunes won, fortunes lost, and, well, fortunes that were literally eaten. Let's get into it. Okay, quick thing before we start. Just a heads up, this is purely for your information and entertainment. It is absolutely not financial advice. We're here to tell the stories, not to give you investment tips. And every single story we're about to cover, these are well-documented legends in the crypto world. We've sourced all of this from public info. So, with that out of the way, let's get to our first wild tale. So, I want you to picture this. Something that cost just $41 back in 2010. Now, imagine that exact same thing at its peak being valued at over $600 million. I mean, what could it possibly be, right? A lost Da Vinci painting? Some forgotten crown jewels? The answer is way more ordinary and honestly, a whole lot tastier. We are talking about two large Papa John's pizzas. No, I'm not kidding. And this brings us to crypto's very first and maybe its most famous cautionary tale. All right, let's unpack the story of the programmer who, completely by accident, bought the most expensive meal in all of human history. So, way back in May of 2010, a programmer named Laszlo Heniak went on an online forum. He made a very simple offer: 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 pizzas. It was just a fun experiment, to prove that this new digital money could actually buy a real-world thing. And hey, the experiment worked. But that $41 pizza order, well, it would one day be worth an absolute fortune. This is just a perfect and probably very painful example of an economic idea called opportunity cost. See, every single choice you make means you're giving up all the other options. He chose the pizza right then and there over the potential, completely unknown future value of his Bitcoin. Now, his story is obviously an extreme one, but the idea is fundamental. The road not taken always has a cost. And what's fascinating is how this one pizza purchase splits opinion right down the middle. For some people, this is a beautiful moment for free markets, a guy freely trading his asset, proving the tech actually worked. But for others, it's a giant red flag. It highlights a totally unstable, unregulated asset where life-changing wealth can be traded away for a snack with absolutely no safety net. But what if you don't trade the value away? What if you just lose it? Our next story takes this idea to a place that is almost impossible to believe, showing how in crypto, a simple mistake is like literally lighting a giant pile of cash on fire. Okay, so meet James Howells. He's an IT worker over in the UK. Back in 2013, he was cleaning his office and he tossed out an old hard drive. Huge problem, though. That little hard drive held the private keys to 8,000 Bitcoin. It's now sitting somewhere under a mountain of garbage in a landfill, a treasure chest that, at its peak, was worth over $500 million. And for years now, he's been locked in this epic battle with the city council just for the chance to go look for it. Economists actually have a term for this. It's called dead weight loss. It's basically the ultimate lose-lose situation. All this value exists, it's real, but because of some kind of inefficiency, in this case a mountain of trash and a legal fight, it is completely and totally inaccessible. That wealth might as well be on Mars. It benefits absolutely no one. And his quest, it just brilliantly highlights a classic debate. On one side, you have the idea of private property rights. Hey, it's his Bitcoin, and the government shouldn't get in his way. But on the other side, you've got the city's responsibility to manage public land and prevent a super expensive, possibly dangerous excavation. It's personal freedom versus the public good, and it's all playing out over a giant pile of garbage. So far we've seen value that was traded and value that was lost. But what about value that was, well, created out of thin air, from a joke? Let's talk about Dogecoin, the currency that started as an internet meme and somehow, someway, became a multi-billion-dollar thing. The whole Dogecoin saga of 2021 was just this perfect storm of meme culture, celebrity tweets, and everyday investors just piling in. I mean, think about the story of the janitor who reportedly put his entire life savings into it and became a millionaire, at least on paper. But this ride was insanely volatile. After just one TV appearance by Elon Musk where he called it a hustle, the price crashed, wiping out fortunes just as fast as they were made.
This entire episode is a textbook case of something called the greater fool theory. It's an investment strategy where the price has nothing to do with fundamentals or what the thing is actually worth. It's driven by the simple belief that you'll be able to find an even greater fool to buy it from you for more money. It's a game of musical chairs with billions of dollars on the line, and it works, right up until the music stops.
But sometimes, this game of finding a greater fool isn't just a risky bet, it's a deliberate trap. Hype can be fun, sure, but it can also be weaponized. And that brings us to the much, much darker story of the Squid Game token. So in late 2021, some anonymous creators launched a token, and they piggybacked on the insane hype of that Netflix show Squid Game. The price went parabolic. But there was a nasty catch hidden in the code. Investors could buy in, but they couldn't sell. Once enough money was in the pot, the creators just pulled the plug, cashing out millions and vanishing without a trace. A classic, brutal rug pull scam. This is a perfect storm of something called asymmetric information. Just think of it like a used car salesman who knows the engine's about to die, but he doesn't tell the person buying the car. One side has all the critical information. Here, the scammers knew the exit was locked. The buyers, who were just fueled by hype and FOMO, had absolutely no idea. It wasn't a market. It was a trap. So, from pizzas to landfills, from internet memes to outright scams, what are the real lessons here? What do these stories actually tell us about this crazy new financial frontier beyond just the shocking numbers? Well, for policymakers, these tales are a huge wake-up call. They show that old-school regulation has a really tough time keeping up. The main challenges are pretty clear. There's no bank, there's no FDIC to bail you out if you lose your keys, and trying to police anonymous people all over the world, that's a massive challenge. You can't just ban this stuff, you have to figure it out. And for the rest of us, the takeaways are even more direct. These are stark reminders that you, and only you, are responsible for your crypto. The saying, not your keys, not your coins, is basically the law of the land. They show that pure hype can create and destroy fortunes in the blink of an eye, regardless of the fundamentals. And above all, they scream that ancient piece of wisdom, caveat emptor, let the buyer beware. You know, when you boil it all down, every one of these stories points to the central paradox of this whole space. Yeah, it might be the freest market on planet Earth, a place of pure, unfiltered capitalism. But that freedom is a double-edged sword, because it also means it's the most dangerous. It's a world where incredible opportunity walks hand in hand with incredible risk. And so that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. Are these just wild, funny, one-off stories? You know, the chaotic growing pains of a new technology? Or are they a sneak peek of a whole new economic reality? A world that's defined by the total absence of the guardrails that we've always taken for granted?